now 1 to 2 days away from the release of the first look at Chapter 68 of the Dragon Ball Super manga, which is in itself the beginning of a brand new arc titled Granola The Survivor. If you're actively in the fan manga community, you've probably seen the fan version of this story, courtesy of Alex, aka Unrelink Gaming. In his story, he takes the approach of Granola being like Miris, a former angel who's lost his angelic powers. Difference being where Miris lost his because of a bias of virtue, Granola lost his because of greed and a lust for power. Clearly, Unrelent took the angle that Granola is a villain, but I would argue still that Granola has yet to reveal himself as a villain and is in fact a new hero of the Dragon Ball franchise. This will all be cleared up in a couple of days with the release of the Chapter 68 draft pages. Till then, though, let's take a moment to speculate here and brainstorm what could be the best possible story for Granola the Survivor. So if I were writing the Dragon Ball Super manga, I would use this arc as a stepping stone, something that is entertaining but used more so as a vehicle to prop up the story that follows. As we've discussed before, the Dragon Ball team has essentially been focus grouping the likes and dislikes of the fanbase through story devices, promotional anime, and video game releases. To anyone who thinks the Dragon Ball team isn't doing this, I would say just look at how this arc started. It is a direct continuation from the arc that preceded it. The lacking thereof was a major criticism of all the Dragon Ball Super arcs to date. So you use Granola's story to implement some of these new ideas, one of them being world building. Expand the focus of the story from Goku and Vegeta, which is very easy to do. You can write them out of the story with something simple like they're running errands or doing chores for Beerus, who is understandably very upset with them after being punished by the Grand Priest. So they're gone. Keep the focus of the story on Granola, who could be revealed to be a member of a sort of Star Wars Rebel Alliance. Him and Oatmeal. They're rebels looking to get a hold of 7-3's technology that can give them a better foothold in their fight against the galactic tyranny of Frieza. Now, Frieza was dead along with his father for 15 years before being resurrected these past couple times. His empire was completely gone before showing up on Earth in his new golden form. And yet, he was still able to rally a pretty large force, seen to be even greater during the events of the Broly movie. With Frieza not being killed again, he's been left to still grow that empire unchallenged. So it would make sense if there were a Star Wars-like Rebel Alliance being formed against him. However, you do not make Frieza the main antagonist of this story. You instead make the bad guy one of Frieza's underlings or generals. A new character with great power, but certainly not on the level of Frieza. So you get some new characters, do some world building, but then you take it a step further by finally bringing back in the Saiyans of Universe 6. Now this is where Granola's lineage can play a major part. If he is indeed a former angel, he would have experience in understanding the complexities of dimension hopping. Combining that with his surely vast amount of knowledge gained in his lifetime, it would enable him to have built a device he can, use to teleport from universe to universe. Sort of the Rick Sanchez of Dragon Ball. Works too if Granola is a Tuffle because they were said to have great intelligence. So seeing as how the Galactic Patrol still does its best to stay clear of Frieza, even though the Rebel Alliance has petitioned them several times for help, Granola takes things into his own hands. Since they are unable to find Goku or Vegeta when they scan the universe for them, Goku and Vegeta being in the Angel Realm or wherever with Beerus and Whis, Granola decides to do the next best thing and head to Universe 6. After Granola earns their trust through various happenings, the Saiyans agree to travel to Universe 7 with Granola to help with the final battle. Which they do, and they even get a last-minute assist from the Galactic Patrol by way of Jocko and Gohan. Give a little time for Gohan to shine, the something that has been requested for I don't know how long. And you explain Gohan being with Jocko by saying he's on somewhat of a expedition trip learning about the universe and gaining knowledge that can better help mankind. Fits perfectly within his character. So the heroes are victorious. Good once again triumphs over evil by Granola leading the resistance to help protect a planet from Frieza's tyranny. But as I said earlier, this arc is more of a stepping stone to something greater. You do this by inserting little side stories along the way that are paid off in the following arc. Granola needed 7.3 because 7.3 at its core is just a walking, talking hard drive. And if you know how to access it, has tons of information from all the people he's absorbed. The rebels use some of this information to take down the Frieza base on the planet, but what other kind of useful information is in 7.3? What happens if it falls into the wrong hands? Same could be said for the teleportation technology developed by Granola. Another potential side story is that maybe the Universe 6 Saiyans have other reasons for going to Universe 7. Maybe to recruit Goku and Vegeta for a looming threat. Or maybe Khalifa is looking to extend her reach of power. Get a wish from the Eternal Dragon, the one she missed out on in the Tournament of Power. And the biggest side story of all is what is Frieza up to in the background? Maybe the planet Granola and the rebels free from Frieza's tyranny had a resource on it that Frieza's general was in charge of extracting and successfully did. Got it to Frieza just in time, who can now use it for his devious plans. Plans which are alluded to at the end of the arc, when you finally circle back to Goku and Vegeta, where Whis informs them that 2 of the planet-sized Super Dragon Balls have gone missing. So many possibilities, absolutely none of this could come to pass. These are just my wild and crazy predictions. But hey, what if it's not all that crazy? What if some or all of this does happen and Dragon Ball Super begins to chart out an epic that rivals the greatest manga stories of all time? Because if that's the case, I just have one simple question for you. Are you ready? Whether you are or not, the spoilers will be here in less than 2 days. Let the countdown begin.